Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in. One of the things we want to do here at Napier is take away the secrecy that is high net worth financial planning, financial management, and the complexities that these families go in and day out. And it's naturally a difficult thing to really illustrate. So, what we wanted to do is do it through a hypothetical family and go through a balance sheet of what these assets look like and the challenges they come through. So, without further ado, I wanted to introduce our slightly creepy AI family, the Smith family here. As you can see, they look eerily similar, but we can get past that. And we'll be focusing on Bill, Sam, and Alyssa here. We will talk about the dynamics of multi-generational planning and how that manifests on the balance sheet. We will focus some time with Robert and Linda and how their financial plan just naturally blends into Bill's and Alyssa's, which is very common and cause for a lot of complexity that we deal with. But for here, this is a Smith family that we'll talk about. And in terms of how this manifests into dollars and cents, we want to introduce and illustrate the idea of a balance sheet. Now, everyone should have a balance sheet, whether you're as complex and wealthy as the Smith family, where you'll see a total net worth of over $8.5 million, but even people with a simplistic financial background or not a ton of assets and liabilities, the idea of staying organized and being able to have a good understanding of where assets lie, how they're titled, is critically important for everyone. And while this balance sheet and this hypothetical Smith family is going to be used as an example for some of the common complex considerations we run into, like business owner and entity structure, cohesive investment strategies, multi-generational estate planning, multi-generational vacation homes, even though they fall short in a lot of these areas, and we'll talk about in subsequent videos, at least they have a balance sheet. I would venture to say that less than half of the families we work with similar complexities, similar assets and liabilities of the Smith family, don't have that balance sheet, which is critically important for the things I mentioned earlier, to be able to make decisions without having to go through years of statements and wonder which investment accounts are still at those old asset management firms. The need to stay organized, as I mentioned, is critically important and something that we at Napier really stay on top of. So wanted to go through, give you an example of what we think this complexity really looks like, how it's owned, the different assets that typically represent a complex balance sheet. Very, very rarely, if ever, do we see a balance sheet that is one investment account, one primary home, and a bank account that makes up $10 million. Much more frequently does it look like something like this, where there's business interests, inherited business interests with different structures, business real estate, investment accounts all over the place. And this is where the complexity lies. And partnering up with a full-service financial planning team like Napier really makes sense to connect the dots. So these families, like Bill, for example, can focus on the business and really drive growth. So we're excited to introduce these types of videos and ask that if there's questions about what we're talking about, feel free to reach out to us. We're looking to help out different families every single day with these types of complex issues and making sure we're doing it in an appropriate, responsible way together. Thanks for tuning in and looking forward to speaking again.